even when the world is too loud? Why are you feeling like something's coming? Because something is. The air around you isn't the same as yesterday. It's thinner, tighter, charged. You can feel it when you breathe. Something is about to break open. And now, listen carefully. I am Archangel Michael, and I'm trembling as I say this. At 6:33 a.m. on August 4th, a woman you may not expect will speak a sentence that will shock the roots of your family tree. And when she speaks, heaven will echo it. The truth won't stay buried anymore. She was chosen as the vessel. But you, my child, you were chosen as the listener. You didn't stumble on this message. You didn't randomly scroll here. Heaven orchestrated this divine encounter. Your soul whispered for help in silence, and heaven responded, urgently. If you had skipped this message, you would have missed the alert that changes everything. Dizzy, don't skip this divine alert. Archangel Michael is watching who opens this, and God has been counting the seconds. If you're feeling called, it's not by accident. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe right now if you believe this message was meant for you. That one small action can anchor your energy into the miracle portal heaven is trying to open for you. Don't be afraid to do it. Something magical starts the moment you say yes. You still there, my beloved? Good. Because what I'm about to tell you has been waiting in the unseen realm for years to be released. You're not just a person in a family. You are a breaker of curses. A revealer of secrets. A healer of ancestral wounds. There is a pattern in your bloodline that God says ends with you. That's why the enemy has been trying so hard to distract you. That's why your emotions have felt unstable lately. Because you're too close to the truth now. But here's the thing Archangel Michael is begging you to understand. You have one job right now. To open your heart and not look away. This woman. She may be younger. She may be older. She may speak through a phone call, a dream, or even in a whisper from someone else's lips. But it will happen. And when it does, you must not respond in anger. You must not close your ears. You were chosen not to react, but to understand. You were not born to fight fire with fire. You were born to hold the flame that heals. And the time? Yes, child, that's not random either. 6:33 a.m. is a divine hour. A holy crack between two spiritual dimensions. Heaven has selected that precise moment, because the vibration of truth is highest when the world is still half asleep. And when you open your eyes at that moment, the first thing God wants from your soul is this. No fear. No panic. Just trust. Because if you listen closely, your ancestors will be speaking with her. My child, the ones who left before you, those who lived and cried and prayed in silence, have waited lifetimes for you to hear this moment. They did not have the voice, the chance, or the courage to speak the truth you're about to be told. But God gave that assignment to you. You have been chosen not because of perfection, but because of your willingness to feel, to listen, to carry what others could not bear. That woman who will speak at 6:33 a.m. is not just revealing a secret, she is unlocking a spiritual vault. And inside that vault is your freedom, your peace, your clarity. But you must be ready. Because when she speaks, the earth will not shake, but your perception will. People you thought you knew will suddenly look different. Faces you trusted will blur in your memory. But don't be afraid, beloved. Archangel Michael is already standing beside you, sword drawn, protecting your name in the unseen. You are going to feel a rush in your heart, as if someone called your name without moving their lips. That's the moment you'll know this message was real. A divine timestamp etched in your spirit will activate something that has slept inside you for years. The confusion you felt, the anxiety, the disconnection from people who once felt like home, all of that was spiritual preparation. Your soul was clearing out the illusions. Heaven needed to pull back your attachments so you could see who truly stood for you and who only clapped when you were quiet. The truth is, this revelation is not to hurt you, it is to remove the masks others forced you to wear. God never created you to live a life of hiding. You were born to shine so brightly that even your enemies would need sunglasses just to glance your way. And now? That brightness is being ignited again. It starts at dawn. It starts with one sentence. It starts with you. Let me speak clearly, because the time for riddles is over. Someone in your family has kept a truth so buried, even their shadow is scared to reveal it. This woman who speaks on August 4th, whether she's blood or barely known to you, will do so because she was stirred awake by heaven. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't breathe. Her spirit was restless. And heaven whispered in her ear, "Speak to the chosen one." That's you. It's always been you. Your ears may ring when she speaks. Your eyes may water without explanation. But that's your confirmation. You see, spiritual truths don't just land on the surface. They echo. They rattle. They shift your atmosphere. And Archangel Michael is commanding all distractions to flee the moment this encounter happens. Because it must not be interrupted. It must not be distorted. God is reclaiming what has been stolen from your soul, and this woman's voice will be the key that unlocks it. You may feel resistance around you right now. That's not by accident. Every time you get close to a breakthrough, the old energies try to pull you back. They whisper lies. They stir drama. They suddenly return from the past pretending to need closure. But listen to me, my beloved. You don't owe closure to anyone who played with your peace. You owe loyalty only to the version of you that God is birthing. And that version? She's stronger. He's wiser. They no longer chase validation, they carry revelation. You are not the scared child anymore. You are the truth bearer. The family line changer. The spiritual earthquake. And when 6:33 a.m. arrives, the bell will ring in the spiritual realm and heaven will say, "My child heard it." That alone is a sign of honor. It means God trusts you more than you trust yourself. That woman's voice will tremble. Her eyes may not meet yours. But she will deliver it, because the angels will not let her rest until she does. There's a reason God is showing you this before it happens. Because He wants you prepared, not panicked. Because He doesn't want you to run away from the discomfort of truth. He wants you to stand still and remember who you are. You are the one they prayed would be born. The one who would heal where others hurt. You carry oil in your voice, fire in your prayers, and holy armor over your heart. And when you hear what is said at that hour, don't collapse, rise. Don't retaliate, reclaim. Don't hide, hold your ground. You are surrounded by a divine army. And even though it may feel like this truth is too much for you, I, Archangel Michael, remind you now, you were made for this. Heaven wouldn't have scheduled the awakening if your soul wasn't ready to receive it. There will be a shift in your atmosphere, and you'll feel it even before she speaks. Maybe the air will feel heavier. Maybe your room will feel quieter than usual. The birds may stop singing for a moment, or a clock might click too loudly. That's the spiritual world aligning itself. Archangel Michael is already sending angels to surround your space. They are standing in corners where you used to feel fear. They are waiting to witness this moment unfold, because your story has reached a divine page-turning chapter. The lies cannot live past sunrise. The secrets cannot stretch past dawn. The time has come, not just for exposure, but for exchange. God is exchanging your confusion for clarity, your sorrow for vision, your loneliness for revelation. And He is doing it through one human moment that carries eternal weight. That woman has been chosen to carry the words, but you were chosen to carry the transformation. You might wonder, why now? Why didn't I know this earlier? But child, timing is everything in the kingdom of heaven. God delays what your heart isn't ready to hold. He hides things not to punish, but to protect. He waits not because He's ignoring you, but because He's working behind the scenes in layers your eyes can't yet see. And now, at 6:33 a.m., all those layers come crashing open like a sunrise breaking a stormy sky. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't get skipped. You were being preserved. Because if this truth had come to you any sooner, you might have rejected it. You might have run. But now? You are steady. You've been broken enough to know what healing looks like. You've been betrayed enough to recognize true presence. You've been silent long enough to hear the voice of God even in a whisper. And when she speaks, child, you will not just hear her voice. You will hear your calling. There's a journal in heaven with your name written in gold. Every page marks the times you cried and no one saw. Every tear you held in silence has been recorded, not one was wasted. God didn't forget when they dismissed your feelings. He didn't ignore when you forgave without receiving an apology. And now, because of your mercy, He's sending truth as your reward. This woman's truth is not random. It is your divine inheritance. There is a key in her words that will open a spiritual door that's been locked in your family for years. Maybe even generations. And when that door swings open, some people will run. Others will bow. Some will pretend they didn't hear it. But you, my child, you will walk through it. You will walk into a new level of discernment, and your spirit will rise with a strength that doesn't explain itself to doubters. You will know what to do without having to ask anyone what they think. You might feel angry at first. That's okay. Don't deny your emotion. Heaven doesn't ask you to suppress what is holy in you. Anger is not a sin, it is a signal. It's what you do with it that matters. Let it burn the old illusions, not the people. Let it refine your clarity, not your kindness. Let it rise and fall like a wave, and when it settles, you'll feel lighter. Because this isn't about revenge, child. This is about release. You are not here to punish, you're here to rebuild. God is giving you the blueprint to rebuild what was damaged. That woman? She is just the beginning. She is the shaking. But you are the architect. The one who will gather the stones and place them with truth. And Archangel Michael is placing a sword of discernment in your spirit right now, not to attack, but to divide light from darkness, truth from manipulation, peace from control. Don't be surprised if the people you thought were the most trustworthy start to feel like strangers after this. That's the power of divine truth. It doesn't just reveal what was hidden, it reveals who was hiding. Masks begin to fall, not through confrontation, but through divine light. God doesn't scream truth, He whispers it loud enough to shake your bones. And you, child, will feel that shaking. Not because you are weak, but because your soul is shifting. You've prayed for clarity, haven't you? You've asked God, please just show me who is real. And now He is answering you, not in symbols or riddles, but in a voice you'll recognize. A voice that might tremble but won't lie. That woman, heaven is guiding her lips. Her truth is heaven's torch. And once you hear it, you'll never again walk blind through a storm. Your steps will be firm. Your path will be lit. You will know exactly who walks with you, and who was walking behind you with a dagger. You might be tempted to question everything after this. You might ask, was my childhood a lie? Was everything just an illusion? No, child. Your experiences were real. But your understanding of them was limited by what others refused to say. You were not crazy. You were kept in confusion. But now God is clearing the fog. This isn't just revelation, it's reconstruction. It's as if your entire life was a puzzle built with missing pieces. But now, piece by piece, the image is appearing. And what you'll see, it won't just explain the past. It will protect your future. You'll stop second-guessing yourself. You'll stop apologizing for feeling things before they happened. You'll stop watering dead plants and calling them family. Your eyes will sharpen, your voice will strengthen, and your spirit will become a place even your enemies dare not enter. Because you'll carry the one thing they never wanted you to have, clarity. Now let me speak directly to the pain you've been carrying in secret. The weight in your chest. The sleepless nights. The moments when laughter felt forced and conversations felt hollow. Heaven saw all of it. Every fake smile. Every ignored gut feeling. Every time you sat in silence just to keep the peace in rooms that were already shattered. And now, my beloved, God is putting an end to the pretending. He's replacing performance with peace. That woman's truth will be the match that lights the fire, and from those ashes, the real you will rise. Not the version they molded. Not the one who hid just to keep harmony. But the version God wrote about before the world ever tried to rename you. And as you rise, don't look back with bitterness. Look back with reverence. Because every wound you carry is proof that you were strong enough to survive the war they pretended didn't exist. There will be silence after she speaks. A holy kind of silence. You may not respond right away, and that's okay. Let the truth sit in your bones. Let it echo in your chest. Let it move through the corners of your memory and show you what was real and what was deception. This isn't the kind of truth that demands reaction. It demands transformation. Don't rush to fix anything. Don't call everyone for opinions. Don't run to social media or to a friend for validation. Sit. Be still. Listen for God's voice in the quiet that follows. Because He will speak. He will confirm. He will guide. And when He does, you'll feel it, not as sound, but as a knowing. Like the moment when dawn breaks and you don't need a clock to know it's morning. Your spirit will sigh in relief. Your soul will whisper, finally. And in that stillness, my beloved, you'll begin to heal the parts of yourself that never had a name. And once that silence settles and the dust of revelation begins to clear, you will notice how your heart starts beating differently. You'll stand the same way, walk the same path, maybe even smile the same smile, but you'll feel like something ancient inside you has been set free. That's because it has. You are not just receiving information, you're undergoing a spiritual release. God is not showing you this to punish you or shame others. He's showing you because the truth had to find you before it was too late. before you passed it on unknowingly, before you allowed the next generation to inherit the same confusion, the same cycles, the same emotional debts. You, my beloved, are the breaker of chains, not the keeper of secrets. What runs in your family may have reached you, but it stops with you. You were born with the blueprint to rebuild what was broken, and heaven has waited for this exact moment to hand you the tools. You may start noticing things, small, sacred signs. The same numbers showing up repeatedly. A feather where no wind could have carried it. Flickering lights, whispering dreams, or the sudden memory of someone you haven't thought about in years. Don't dismiss them. These are spiritual confirmations. Archangel Michael is aligning these signs so you know that you are not walking blindly through this. You are being led, step by step, by forces far greater than your pain. Even when your hands shake. Even when your voice trembles. Even when your mind questions everything, it won't stop what God has already released. You've been anointed for this moment. And even if others try to downplay it, ignore it, or discredit the message, it won't matter. Truth doesn't need approval to be real. It doesn't need applause to carry power. It just needs one open heart, and that heart, my child, is yours. This woman who speaks at 6:33 a.m. may not even know how deeply her words will cut. She might think she's just clearing her conscience or unburdening a memory. But what she says will be divinely timed. Heaven will use her lips the way a violin uses strings, not to break you, but to tune you into something purer. And in that moment, the air around you may feel heavy. Your soul might ache. You may cry, or you may go numb. But after that, the veil will lift. And suddenly, all the heaviness you've been carrying will start making sense. You'll realize why you felt drained around certain people. Why your energy never matched theirs. Why your joy had to be hidden just to keep the peace. The moment her truth hits your ears, everything they tried to confuse inside you will untangle like a knot that's been waiting for the right hands to loosen it. And it won't just loosen, it will vanish. The people around you may sense a change even if they don't know what happened. Some will become uncomfortable in your presence, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your clarity threatens their control. Don't shrink. Don't explain yourself. You don't owe small minds the weight of your wisdom. Let them stare. Let them gossip. Let them wonder. You've spent enough time being quiet to keep others comfortable. That season is over. This truth will not just help you stand, it will help you separate. Separate from those who only loved the version of you that stayed broken. Separate from those who were committed to misunderstanding you. Separate from those who used silence as a weapon and manipulation as a mask. And once you see clearly, once your spirit is lit with revelation, even the ones who tried to dim your light will be forced to admit, they couldn't stop what God started. The moment you accept what was hidden and allow it to live in the light, you'll begin to feel your body respond to a freedom it never knew it craved. You'll wake up differently. Even your skin will feel like it's breathing again. And that's not your imagination. That's release. For years your body has stored things your mind didn't understand. Memories buried. Feelings dismissed. Questions left unanswered. But now that the truth is breaking through, your body is finally exhaling the weight of pretending. No more smiling when your heart is bleeding. No more staying silent just to keep the peace. No more agreeing to things your soul quietly rejected. This is the sacred moment of unbinding. The moment heaven says, I saw what they didn't say. I saw what they made you carry. And now, child, I will remove it from your chest. And as it leaves, don't fear the emptiness. That space is being made for truth, for love, for alignment. You will begin to hear your own voice differently. Where once you whispered to be accepted, you will now speak with authority because you've been validated by God Himself. The woman who tells you this truth may shake. She may cry. She may even pause mid-sentence. But what she says is not hers alone, it belongs to the generations that came before, and the healing of generations yet to come. When she speaks, listen with your spirit, not just your ears. Because even the parts that hurt are part of the holy process. And when that final word leaves her lips, something invisible in the atmosphere will shift. You may not see it, but you'll feel it, a divine permission being handed to your soul. Permission to break patterns. Permission to rewrite identity. Permission to remember yourself as God always saw you, before the world started covering you with lies. You are not just hearing the truth. You are being called back to yourself. Don't let fear borrow your thoughts after this revelation. The enemy would love for you to panic. He'd love for you to overthink and spiral into doubt. But you've already survived worse than this. You've already walked through fires no one saw. And you didn't just survive, you grew. This moment is not a crisis. It's a confirmation. That still, strong part of you, the one that's always known there was something off, is finally being told, you were right. God never created you to live confused. That was the world's doing. That was the result of people too scared to tell the truth and too prideful to admit it. But God? God is not afraid of your honesty. In fact, He delights in it. And now that He's brought the truth to your doorstep, He is watching to see if you'll do what those before you couldn't, receive it, rise from it, and redeem everything that tried to bury you. And you will. I see it already. I, Archangel Michael, see the fire reigniting in your eyes. It is faint right now, but steady. It has been lit by the hands of heaven. You are becoming someone you've never met before but have always been destined to become. And yes, it will feel lonely at first. Truth-tellers often walk alone, but only for a little while. Because once your frequency shifts, your circle will too. People who carry the same light will start appearing. You'll meet others who've walked through darkness and made it out glowing. You'll recognize souls that feel like home, not because they want something from you, but because they see you. And in that space, you'll begin to live, not to prove anything, not to fight every battle, but to breathe as someone who is finally whole. Someone who no longer needs permission to be real. Someone who woke up at 6:33 a.m. and never went back to sleep. Soon, you'll begin noticing the way people look at you has changed. Some with awe, others with envy, and a few with quiet fear, not because you've become someone harsh, but because you've become someone clear. Clarity, child, is powerful. When people can no longer manipulate you through confusion, they try to withdraw their affection. But don't chase anyone who cannot stand beside the truth. Let them go. If their loyalty depended on your silence, they were never loyal to begin with. And now that you carry truth as your mantle, you must walk like one who has been crowned by heaven. Hold your head high, not in arrogance but in awareness. The awareness that you survived the lies, outgrew the games, and stood through storms that tried to break your bloodline in half. That woman's words will do more than speak truth, they will resurrect your divine authority. And when that authority rises in you, the ground beneath you will know it. So will the spirits around you. You'll begin to feel how much lighter your soul becomes. There will be no announcement, no dramatic moment, but one morning, you'll rise and realize the fear is gone. The anxiety that once followed you from room to room has loosened its grip. The second-guessing, the walking on eggshells, the nights lying awake replaying conversations, it will all begin to fade. That's not just healing. That's deliverance. Because the moment truth touches your soul, demons lose access. They can no longer haunt what has been exposed to the light. Even the inner critic you've carried, the voice that says, maybe it's your fault, maybe you're too sensitive, maybe you misunderstood, that voice will grow quieter. You'll hear it trying to rise again, but it won't land. Because now you know. Now you see. And what you see, you can never unsee. And what God has shown you, no one on this earth has the authority to erase. Some may call you dramatic. Others may ask why you're making such a big deal out of something so small. But don't listen to them. They are not the ones who carried confusion in their chest every night. They were not the ones who begged God for confirmation through signs, through dreams, through anything that made sense. They were not the ones who suffered silently so others could pretend everything was fine. You know the cost of clarity. You know the price of peace. So don't let anyone cheapen your awakening. This is your moment. Your sacred breakthrough. And while it may be quiet to the world, it is thunder to heaven. Angels are rejoicing. Generational chains are being ripped apart. Ancestral wounds are receiving salve for the first time in decades. And you, my child, are the vessel that carried it all through. Do not apologize for the truth. Stand in it like a throne. Speak from it like scripture. Let it clothe you like holy fire. This woman, remember her, may fade from your daily life. She may not stay long. She may not even know the full impact of what she revealed. But honor her for her courage. Even if her truth came late. Even if it felt broken. Even if it cost you something to hear. Because she was heaven's courier. And without her words, the chain could not have been broken. So forgive where you need to. Bless what you must. Release what no longer fits in your healed life. You don't need to control the outcome. You don't need to force the next step. God already has it written. The moment her voice entered your timeline, the divine clock restarted. And what was delayed will now be delivered. What was buried will now be brought forth. What was blocked will now be broken open. You are not walking into the same life you came from. You are walking into a promised one, and this time, you'll walk with full eyes. You may not realize it at first, but doors are already opening in the spirit because of this. Silent doors. Hidden doors. Ones that were invisible to you until this moment of truth came and adjusted your vision. God doesn't just show you truth to free your heart, He shows you truth to align your path. Watch how certain conversations shift. How people begin to distance themselves, not because of you, but because your light has started revealing their shadows. That's not your burden to carry. You were never called to dim yourself so others feel more comfortable in darkness. This clarity is going to magnetize new things toward you, aligned opportunities, pure-hearted people, favor that no one can explain. What was once stuck will now move with ease. What once resisted you will begin to make room for you. That is what truth does. It doesn't just unlock people's stories, it unlocks your own destiny. You'll notice how quickly the atmosphere around you changes. You'll walk into places and feel the shift before you speak. That's because the spirit of discernment is now fully active in you. It's no longer a quiet whisper. You'll feel it like a full-body awareness. Your energy will no longer tolerate dishonesty. Even subtle lies will feel sharp. You'll spot manipulation from a distance. You'll no longer ignore the tightness in your chest when someone smiles too sweetly but their spirit says otherwise. That's not paranoia. It's protection. Archangel Michael has sharpened your spirit as a divine weapon. And you are not meant to ignore your instincts anymore. God did not anoint you to be silent in rooms that rob your peace. He called you to rebuild your life around truth, not tolerance. Around light, not illusion. And because of that, heaven is clearing out every space, every soul, every situation that once fed off your spiritual blindness. You might begin receiving unexpected messages, an apology, a confession, a quiet admittance from someone who once denied your truth. Don't respond with revenge. You are not who you used to be. Your healing has made you holy, not hostile. Let God vindicate you. Let heaven correct what man confused. And while you're watching it unfold, stay grounded in gratitude. Gratitude that you made it here. Gratitude that the truth didn't destroy you, it resurrected you. Because that's what this really is, not an ending, but a resurrection. You are not just healing from deception. You are being reborn into clarity, into spiritual authority, into a life that's no longer being built on shaky ground. You are laying foundations now with bare hands, bloodline wisdom, and divine stone. And once those foundations are set, nothing, no gossip, no secret, no manipulation, can tear it down again. You are building with God now. And He does not deal in collapse. He deals in covenant. Don't be surprised if your body starts releasing old pain. That aching back, those migraines, the anxiety in your chest, it was never just physical. Your body was a vault of the unspoken. But now that the truth has arrived, your nervous system will finally begin to trust you. It will no longer have to brace itself for betrayal. No longer have to tighten with fear when someone walks into the room. No longer have to stay alert for spiritual danger. Your body will learn safety again. Your breath will deepen. Your voice will change. Your posture will shift. You'll look in the mirror and see someone who's no longer surviving, but returning. Returning to their divine design. Returning to joy that isn't borrowed. Returning to purpose that isn't manufactured. And through it all, God will continue whispering to you in moments no one sees, "This is the child I've waited to restore." You will start to notice how quickly things begin to shift in your favor, not because you begged, not because you forced anything, but because heaven has authorized it. What was once held back by deception is now released because truth has cleared the path. That business idea you kept doubting? God is going to breathe on it. That financial breakthrough you've prayed for in silence? It's coming, not in small, trickling amounts, but in unexpected, overwhelming streams. There's a harvest stored up for you that was delayed, not denied, because God refused to place it into hands that were still unsure of who they were. But now, your identity has awakened. You're no longer begging to be seen. You know who you are. You know who your Father is. And He is not just giving you back what was stolen, He is multiplying it, wrapping it in peace, and planting it in places where no enemy can uproot it. And child, this favor is not just about money or moments of ease, it's about placement. God is placing you in rooms where your name has already been whispered with reverence. People will begin to mention you in conversations you've never attended. They'll speak of your resilience. They'll marvel at your strength. They'll reference your name in rooms of influence, not because you asked, but because heaven marked you as unignorable. And you'll walk in not to perform, but to stand in purpose. You will no longer be the one begging for a seat, you will be the one bringing the table. And those who once dismissed you will have no choice but to watch what God is doing. Don't try to explain it. Don't try to apologize for it. Just receive it. You earned this favor through fire, silence, and spiritual war. Now let it crown you. This is your Esther moment, chosen, seen, and positioned for divine impact. There will also be restoration in places you thought were permanently broken. A relationship that went cold may warm again, not to return as it was, but to redeem what was never said. A door you closed with tears may gently open again, not to pull you backward, but to prove that healing has been completed. But here's the truth, beloved, you don't need anyone's return to feel whole. You don't need their confession to walk in freedom. If they come back, let it be grace. But if they don't, let it be clarity. Either way, you will rise. And in your rising, God will gather everything you lost along the way, every dropped dream, every missed opportunity, every fragment of your once shattered heart, and place it all back in your hands, restored, refined, and resurrected. You won't even recognize yourself, and that's a good thing. Because the version of you that's emerging now is the one that was buried beneath years of spiritual dust. You may even find yourself laughing again, real, unguarded laughter. The kind that bubbles up without force, without guilt. Because finally, joy will feel safe. Peace won't feel like a setup. And love, oh child, love will stop feeling like a test you have to pass. You won't keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. You won't keep looking over your shoulder to see who's pretending. That woman's truth didn't just uncover the past, it cleared the air so your future could breathe. You'll sleep better. You'll love better. You'll create, speak, dance, and decide without fear of disappointing people who were never committed to your growth. Because now, your loyalty has returned to its rightful place, God, truth, purpose, and yourself. You are not selfish. You are finally centered. And there is nothing